You're going to get world-class ideas that many people are using to play at the highest level of humanity. But if you don't do the work steadily every day like an athlete going to the gym and practicing, if you don't do the work, if you don't act on the ideas, if you don't integrate them, if you don't show some self-discipline, no idea will work unless you do the work. Unless you take some new action, unless you start thinking some new thoughts, unless you start having some new conversations, unless you have the guts to clean out some of the things that are not working and install some of the new rituals that will work, nothing will change. How are you doing? Are you waking up every day with the fire in the belly? Have you articulated your goals? Are you 30 days into rewiring some new habits? Are you getting results? Are you already healthier? Are you more prosperous? Do you feel confident inside? Or have you already given up? Are you already waving the towel? Are you already dismissing your bravest and your boldest dreams? Are you already thinking toxic thoughts? Are you already watching too much news? Have you already slipped away from the person you knew when the clock struck 12 you wanted to be this year? Do not make this year a repeat of last year. You have an opportunity right now to make some choices. With new choices, you're going to get new results. With new results, you're going to get transformation. You've got to take some action. You are a result of all of the habits you have installed through your whole life. And you've practiced them so many times, you might even know you're doing them. You might even not know you're doing them because you've been practicing them every single day. They've now entered the realm of the subconscious. But you are the result of your habits, and you are the result of your actions. Number one, your methodology reveals your mindset. In other words, positive psychologists like Sonia Lyubomirsky, Martin Seligman, who are doing some beautiful research on optimism and the science of happiness, they will tell you that your story about your potential, just be with me on this, please. Your story about your potential and what you can achieve determines whether you live your potential. If you don't believe that you can be iconic, if you don't believe you can be the most productive person you know, if you don't believe you can build a fortune, if you don't believe you can change the world, then you're not going to start using these ideas I'm sharing with you on this live cast today. Your story about your potential determines whether you install the habits. Your story about whether you go out and seize opportunities determines whether you seize opportunities. Because if you think, you know what, I'm just average, I'm just a victim, I can't do all these things that Robin talks about, if you believe that, then you're not going to even start. You're not seeing the world the way it is right now. You're seeing the world through your belief system. We see the world through this perceptual filter of our story, of our belief. And so if you don't have as much money as you want, if you don't have as much health as you want, if you don't have the life that you adore, it is not because you can't build it. It's because you don't believe you deserve it deep down inside. You see, life wants you to win. And I've got to be super real with you. Are you doing your part? Are you like the elite athlete? Are you like the painter? She gets up every morning while the world is asleep and she pursues her craft. Are you like the entrepreneur with the fire in the belly and then you do what it takes? Because success is a cost. Failure is a cost. I'm going to repeat that again. A successful life, there is a price to pay. You can't spend 4 hours on TV or surfing the internet every night. Being world class, there is a price to pay. A monomaniacal focus on the few things that are important. Being the healthiest person you know and having energy that is world class, there is a price to pay. Eating the right food, being self-disciplined, getting to the gym 6 times a week. But misery, there's a price to pay too. Mediocrity has costs. Giving away your power to the past, you got to pay for that. And the payment is self-betrayal and a life, I was going to say half lived, but probably 1% lived. And I think the greatest sadness is getting to the last hour of your last day and realizing you wasted your life. Do you want to get to the end of your life and say, you know what? I was like a sheep. I followed everyone else. I bought into that mass thinking and that mass hypnosis. I resigned myself to mediocrity. I was all about myself. I never got great health. I never built my fortune. I never built a beautiful life. I never was nice. I never stood for honor, decency, love, service to humanity. Well, no, we want to install a habit in 60 seconds. We want the pill to double our productivity or triple it. We want the world-class business, but we forget that most world-class businesses took 20 years to build. The Taj Mahal took 22 years to build. The Sistine Chapel, 4 years of relentless devotion to create. That second principle, big one that has helped my clients from across the world. All change is hard at first, it's messy in the middle, and it's gorgeous at the end. You want to practice it, you want to recite it, you want to journal about that brain tattoo until it goes from just being an idea to a felt feeling. Does that make sense? You've got to live it and journal on it and think about it and experience it. And then what starts to happen is it becomes part of your way of being. And then you experience business change or physical change or personal change or life change or spiritual change. And you go, hey, this is cool. Change is hard. But how can new foundations be installed unless old foundations get torn apart? How can you install world-class ways of thinking until your previous ways of thinking are ripped apart? How can you institute and implement the habits and rituals of the A players unless your habits and rituals of last year are disrupted? And so the victim sees change as fear. The person of mediocrity or insecurity goes through change and gets frightened. Victims are frightened by change. Game changers are inspired by it because you are being taken to a better place. If it's not hard, it's not change. According to the University College of London, it takes 66 days of daily practice to install a new habit. 66 days of change, discomfort, and insecurity until you lock in a new ritual. And then you're going to get to a point, it's called the point of automaticity. The point of automaticity, where it actually becomes easier to get up at 5 o'clock, or it becomes easier to do your nightly journal, or it becomes easier to go for the run, or it becomes easier to turn off the television and invest in your personal development than not to do it. You have to, please, give yourself 66 days of installing the new habits before you give up. To have the results only 5% of the population have, my friend. To have the results only 5% have, economically, physically, spiritually, you've got to be willing to think and do what only 5% of the population are willing to do. And please remember, you become your associations. If you are the smartest person in your neighborhood, maybe it's time to move to a new neighborhood. If you are the fastest, most inspiring person on your street, maybe it's time to move to a new street. If you are the most visionary person of all your friends, maybe it's time to find some new friends. You've got to go for the mess. You've got to go for what feels dangerous. You've got to go out on the skinny branch. You have got to have the guts to play on the edges. When you go to your limits expand. The athlete who pushes herself relentlessly at the last workout went to her limits, and her limits have expanded. Maybe you're scared right now. Scared to 50x your business. Scared to go get that big sale. Scared to clean up your health. Scared to leave your relationship because you deserve better. Scared to move to a new city. Maybe you're scared to believe in yourself. Maybe you're scared to let go of last year. You've got to live your life in such a way that the world sees you as strange and that you are relentlessly going to your limits. And is that easy? No, but it's right. And if you live like this, you not only build a life you adore, And you not only find the prosperity you want and the health you want and the energy you want, you find the happiness you want.